Declan Bohan, it's 24 hours since St Mary's success in the Ladies Intermediate Championship. You must be delighted.
Yeah, we're really pleased, Breffney, to be honest with you. You know, there was a lot of pressure attached to it. We, you know, obviously because of the championship we had, and I suppose the league that we had as well, you know, where we went through the entire campaign up to that stage from both league and championship unbeaten, and we were favourites, installed as favourites, and delivering on that, you know, proved challenging. And I suppose particularly because of the way the weather has changed, the conditions weren't anything near like what we'd have prepared in or trained in or played any of our games in by and large, and that was a challenge. But really pleased as they stood up to the plate and they soaked up everything that Mohill threw at them and delivered at the final whistle, you know.
I suppose you say you were favourites, and you probably were, but you played Mohill earlier in the season, probably without their star player, Dervla Byrne. She was available yesterday, although maybe a bit distracted. She had a big soccer game as well. But Casey Byrne, the captain, seemed to manage her fairly well in that encounter.
Yes, I suppose, look, obviously we'd have identified that Dervla was going to be a big ace in their armoury, if you know what I mean. But you know, they have other players obviously that played really well as well right through the game. But yeah, Casey set out her stall, I think, early on, and you know, she knew, I suppose, deep down that that's who her direct opponent was going to be, and she delivered and turned in an absolutely fantastic performance and led as captain, you know, from the off. And you know, that was a big start for us, I suppose, really, in getting that match-up right. And thankfully the match-up worked out perfectly. But there were lots of other decent match-ups around the field that worked out very well in our favour also, you know.
In terms of, I suppose, what the overall significance of the event meant, 12 months ago, I think we spoke to you after losing the same game last year against Dromahair. How important was it for the girls to put that right this year and make sure they didn't miss out again?
Yeah, I suppose, look, we've been knocking on the door for the last 4 years. Won the junior championship in 2017 and, you know, contested 3 intermediate semi-finals in a row, funny enough, with Mohill, as it turned out, in 18, 19 and 20. And then the final last year, obviously against Dromahair, didn't go our way. So there was incremental, you can see the incremental improvement coming in the girls. A lot of younger girls that have, you know, come up through the under 16 ranks and in through minor ranks, you know, are getting more mature and stronger, and maybe stronger than they actually even believe themselves. And you know, that's why it was so important, I suppose, that, you know, at this stage, to win the intermediate championship, the time was now to deliver, and thankfully, you know, that we have delivered that, and they can look forward now to building on that, because next year is obviously going to be a much stronger challenge, let's put it that way.
Yeah, we mentioned Dromahair, and they saw, I suppose, the gap between the two grades this year when they went up. They struggled at times to live with some of the big names in the senior division. How well equipped are St Mary's to compete at that grade next year?
I think we're in a good position. As I said, you know, the younger players that are coming into this grade are getting more mature. They're getting stronger physically. They've worked really hard this year, to be honest with you. You know, they worked harder, I'd say, than they've ever worked before, if you like, because we knew it was going to take that to deliver. And I suppose the challenge now going into 2023 is to build on that. To improve. They will get stronger. They'll be getting even more mature next year, and they'll need all of that to compete at senior level. But I think they'll be. I'm certain they're looking forward. This is what they wanted. This is what they wanted to achieve. This is what they wanted to test themselves at the highest level, and they've reached it there now. So that's the challenge going into the future, you know.
I suppose when I have you, we're here on Sunday afternoon at the intermediate men's final. You wear a couple of hats in the GAA in Leitrim, but you're county secretary as well. There's a piece of work going at central council level, at Croke Park level now, to amalgamate all of these clubs together. I suppose you kind of represent that well, coaching in the women's and being a major official in the county board in the men's. How can Leitrim be part of that, or how can Leitrim lead that? Because there has been some really good collaboration between the men's and the women's. How can we be part of that conversation?
Well, I suppose when it comes down to it, Breffney, you know, in any county, but I suppose particularly in our county, which is, you know, a relatively small unit, and you know, the volunteers, if you like, that are working through both the LGFA and the GAA, you know, are working hand in hand at club level. A lot of it is happening at club level anyway, where, you know, there tends to be that one club model where, you know, the girls are looked after the very same as the lads are. And to be fair, like I could see even yesterday evening now, obviously, bearing in mind that St Mary's won the senior and minor championship last weekend, that our girls were treated exactly the same. The protocol was the same afterwards. So that's the headline act, I suppose, at club level. The challenge at county level is obviously to build on that, mirror something like that, and it can only do good for the game because it's going to happen. I mean, it's when it happens, I suppose, is the time. But the last central council meeting, the Uachtaráin announced that former president is going to Mary McAleese is going to head up that group, and I think it'll move forward quicker than we think. So, it'll be challenging all round, but it should bring benefits for everybody.
Absolutely. Well, listen, congratulations again on that other hat, the coach at St Mary's. Is Slash Bornacoola, is that a thing anymore?
No, we had two Bornacoola players playing yesterday, and Alison obviously got injured last year, so she wasn't involved. So it is St Mary's, and as I say, it doesn't really matter to us one way or the other. I was really delighted and privileged to be involved with them over the last 5 years and shared in their success, and they're a great bunch of girls.
You sound like you're saying will you be on the sideline with them next year in the senior grade?
Oh, that's like all politicians, I suppose, and I'm not a politician, but that's yet to be decided, as they say. So you're looking for me to say I am or I amn't. I'd be delighted to be involved, if that's the way it works out.
Someone says there's more politics in the GAA than in politics. Listen, Declan, thanks very much and congratulations again. Fabulous weekend for you.
All right, thanks very much, Breffney. Thank you.